This is Romo Dunze, and you're listening to the Ballsville Podcast.
Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it.
And now, your host of the Ballsville Podcast, Scott Fitzgerald.
Welcome in, Ballsville gamers, to another episode of the Ballsville Podcast. I am your host, Scott Fitzgerald, a.k.a. Ludes for Sale on Sleeper. And this episode is brought to you by the Ballsville Games. Our games combine fantasy football and poker, which create big payouts with great odds. All right, gang, we are less than 48 hours from the point scoring season. We have a massive show this weekend. And just to let you all know, we are going to be on again on Friday for our second part of the week, and that's how it will go the rest of the season. I'll introduce you to my panel. Behind the scenes, we have Sarah M21 from Fresno. What's up, Sarah? Also from Fresno, we have our president, Alejandro Hernandez. What's up, Alex?
What's up, guys? I'm the one that's been spamming you in all the sleeper hubs all day.
My co-host, he's Bill's Mafia. He's from Viva Las Vegas. What is up, Sean S. Clem?
How you doing, my friends? Good to see you.
And the man from the wild frontier way up in Alaska. He is back. We call him Zoobs. It's Zoobicus. What's up, Zoobs?
Hey, welcome. Glad to be here, guys.
All right. We like I said, we have a big show. We have a huge announcement, a couple of huge announcements today. One, we just launched our website. It is called theballsvillegame.com, and it looks awesome. Alex has spent tireless hours on this. I've spent a lot of time on this. Sarah spent a lot of time. Sean's been in there. So we just launched this. It looks great. So we want you guys to go in and check it out. We'll have a little demo for you guys a little bit later. We also created a one of a kind. It is not out there. Another gaming platform that we think you guys are really going to like. Sean and I will explain it. We were BSing one day and brainstorming, and we came up with it, and we did a little research and saw that, wow, man, nobody has this game format, so we got to put this thing together for our gamers. So we'll definitely get into that. So we'll get into the preview of the games, the game on Thursday and Friday. The NFL is doing a tremendous job, but one of these days they're going to own every day of the week. They're just doing it. The unfortunate thing is, looks like you're going to need Peacock to watch that game. So get those jailbreak Fire Stick, and you can watch them for free. So anyways, and then we'll get into a little bit of injury talk. We'll talk about Jamar Chase, his ramifications for this weekend, and then we'll play a little game of which analyst thinks what players are going to pop off this week for you guys. So we got a pretty big show. We're going to pack it all in, and we're going to start with the website. So Alex, if you want to go ahead and share the screen, we can go right through it.
Yes, sir. Here we go.
We are also going to, if you look at the bottom of the stream, there's a ticker. We're going to raffle off the triathlon game that we're playing. We're going to raffle off 9 spots for this game. It's going to be free to enter, and a chance to win a $25 entry in any game in 2025. So we'll explain that as we go.
Thank you. Good intro, Scott, as always. What's up, Ballsville? It's been a while since we got to just sit here and go over things and kind of touch bases, and now is the perfect time with the season right in front of us. Like Scott said, we've been scrambling to put this thing together for tonight. We big surprise, nobody had the ballsvillegame.com, so we went ahead and locked down that web page. So here it is. This is it. We've got our championship icon right here. This is going to be your home page. You click it and it'll take you right back home. You got a little navigation bar. We have links to each of the games. What you're going to find in the games, Dragons of Dynasty, you're going to find links to the actual leagues of the Dragons of Dynasty. Now, these should all be closed off, so you can't get in them right now. But the purpose of that is that when we have the championship week for the Dynasty game, you guys will be able to bypass the hubs, come to the website. You'll click, scroll down, little intro video for you, and you'll be able to check out our dragons, and you'll be able to join the league and verify, who's wagering, who beat you. You can see their scoring, their settings. It's something we want the champions to do, league winners. We'll also have a link eventually down here for a scoreboard, so you can see who scored what and who wagered what without actually having to infiltrate one of the leagues. And it's going to be pretty much the same thing for all of these games. If you go to the big game, it's going to look a little different because it's so big, so massive. Here we're going to have links to the divisional hubs, and when you click on one of the hubs, we'll go to the villains here. It's going to take you to a document, and this is our actual scoreboard. So this will be gone. This is what we do when we fill the leagues, and this is what our managers are going to have access to. They're going to be filling this out. You're going to have your league winner, what they wager, what they keep. You're going to have their score through the season, and that'll update to the score for week 16 and 17 for the championship. And then the payout, this helps us keep track of who gets what. If you win, we'll come and get your league safe name so we know who to pay. It's a pretty well-refined system. The Ballsville pod, it gives you everything you need to know about the Ballsville pod, a little knowledge about how we started, our hosts and co-hosts right here. And we can't do it without Sarah, representing and putting that audio together as our producer. One of the underdeveloped pages that we have here is the narrative, and this is going to eventually turn into a blog page. We'll have articles here. Sean's already got an article that we're gonna comb through and put up on the page, and you can come and see some of the latest stuff that we're working on. You can give your feedback by clicking this icon or down here. We also have different threads that we'll have for you, so you can pick one of three. You can leave a comment and then start a conversation there. And on the right side here, these are going to be our hot topics for the week. So every week, you see it says week 1 here. And here's information for the podcast. If you click that, it's going to bring you to the link for your podcast, Scott's O-line rankings, and the triathlon, which is going to be our next big reveal. So whatever the hot topic is for the week, our tools, whatever, it's going to be right here on this little sidebar for you. And again, I wasn't a web designer 3 weeks ago. So, we're putting it together. The guys are getting all educated on the matter. So code of conduct, if you're here, check this out. Everyone's, get to know the code of conduct. Don't be a jerk, keep certain topics out of the threads. We will censor you. If you're violating the code of conduct, you get a warning, a personal warning, and then you get a public warning, and then you get action. You don't want to be removed from the games or anything like that. Nobody wants that. So just be cool. So our next reveal is going to be this. This is our triathlon game, and this is the brainchild of Scott and Sean, putting things together and talking amongst themselves. And leave the page here, let you look at that. And I don't know, how'd you guys come up with this idea? It's a great idea.
So Sean and I, like we always do, we brainstorm, and we love talking fantasy football and how we can build this brand, and think of different things that you guys, that might excite you guys. So we're thinking of different formats about playing, and I know guillotine's pretty popular. It's a new format people are really getting into, and I said to Sean, I'm like, Sean, what if we created something that is like the best of all the worlds, and we can just create something where, because some people like playing guillotine, some people like playing best ball, some people like redraft. So why don't we create something where we can get everybody together and play the games they like, and then introduce them to new games at the same time? So we created this league called the Triathlon game, and the way this is going to be set up, and I'll explain some of it, and then I'll let Sean explain the rest, because he's the co-creator. So we'll go from there. So basically, it's a unique style game where we play 3 forms of fantasy football. We start off with the redraft game. Then you go to the guillotine and then best ball. So how it starts off is it begins with 20 teams. Weeks 1 through 8 will be a regular redraft game with deep benches. So you'll be forced to start some less than desirable players. During the stage, trades are open, and you'll be utilizing your season fab to acquire players off the waiver wire. Fab does not reset. And then weeks 9 through 14, the league will morph into a guillotine style format where the bottom 2 teams are cut based on overall standings, not max points. 2 teams per week will be cut. The rosters will be available on waivers. That's 20 teams cut down to 8. And then during the guillotine stage, trading will be shut off and fab will not reset. All right, Sean, what do we do in the final weeks?
Final weeks, man. That's our playoffs, baby. That's our fun time of the season, right? So at that point, we're down to our final 8 teams, right? So we're going to play out the rest of the season in like a best ball format. So pretty much, you're going to utilize your best players. You're not going to have to worry about going in and setting up your lineups. It's going to automatically update for you, similar to best ball, just like what we were expecting from a best ball league. And you're going to move forward from there for 3 playoff games. You're going to go from 8 teams. You're going to play down to 4 teams. And then you're going to play in the championship, baby, just like a normal playoff system. It's going to be awesome. This style that we're looking for here, man, it's going to bring what we're hoping for is the best of both worlds. So this is a very basic kind of like, say, pilot version of what our overall goal is here. So we really want to use this as a way to kind of fine-tune some aspects of what we're trying to do here and come up with a game that you guys are really, really going to love. And it's just going to be exciting all season long. You're always going to have a reason to want to be in there and pay attention. And, it's going to bring like all of these different types of games together into just one fun, full-on tournament that could be just a whole new aspect for everybody. I'm so excited about this.
Right. So, and then, also, this is it's just going to be a pilot. So, I mean, like I said, we created this game for you guys, just like the website's for you guys. So once this evolves at the end of the year, we'll be taking feedback from you players. Let us know what you guys liked about the game, what you didn't like. This game might look a little bit different next year if we tweak it a little bit, or it might just stay the same. We don't know. We're going to obviously take feedback from you guys because we want this to be the best. And we looked into this, and there's no other platform, Yahoo or Underdog or any of these other platforms that has a game like this. So we're the pioneers for it. We're going to lock this down. We're going to get you guys in this and get excited to do this. Let's get Jeff in there. Jeff, what do you think about this format?
Fascinating. I mean, it's awesome. I'm excited to see how it kind of plays out because, having the 3 different types of fantasy leagues all rolled into one is really exciting. So, yeah, I mean, as a degenerate, that's my bread and butter right there.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Even Jay Morris and you guys are going to look at this and you're going to be like, wow, they thought this out a lot, because Jay Morris makes a great point on here. He says the strategy of how much fab to use during the early season, knowing that the guillotine is coming, will be fascinating. And that's kind of why we set it up in those 3 formats, just like that. Like Alex suggested, you build your team first, but you got to be careful with your fab because it doesn't reset. And the guillotines come in, and the guillotines, elimination rounds. So
you think about week 1. Week 1 is always the strongest fab week. You're normally going to get like a player that could potentially be like a solid player full season. So you usually spend a good amount on week 1. I know I do. So, are you going to change that strategy now, knowing that you got that guillotine coming? I do. I think I am 100%.
Yeah. No, I'm so stoked. This is going to be like tremendous. You guys are going to have a lot of fun playing this. So yeah, we're super excited. Go ahead, Alex.
So one of the main attractors for me personally is that, all right, so for those of us that are in like multiple leagues, some of you guys you're worse than I am. You're in like 100 leagues. Like I know Ken's like in like 200 to 300 dynasty leagues himself. So
I think he's actually closer to like the 400 or 500 now.
Oh God! All right, so
I just
Ken aside, if you're in a dynasty or a redraft league, the first few weeks are so important. You come out swinging and you kind of get a gauge, especially in dynasty, because you can lean into a rebuild. So if you come out and your team's not performing and stuff like that, in redraft, what are you going to do? you're going to stop paying attention to it. So the good part about this is that you come out like a regular redraft, you manage your teams, and then towards the middle of the season, when you have some players not doing so well, they start to check out anyways. The fact that you're going to have the bottom two teams cut for 8 weeks, that's gonna it's gonna create like a competition, that's constantly evolving. And then for Ballsville in particular, we have the mini games that come to a conclusion in week 15, and then we have the big game and all of our championship games for redraft and all that that take place in week 16 and 17. So the fact that you get to go up to week 14 here, managing, doing guillotine things, and then just letting your best ball, bot set your best lineup for the playoffs, it's so little stress on your game managers at that point, and it allows you to focus on your redraft and your dynasty playoffs and not have to worry about this game in particular.
Yeah, it sounds sick. I mean, it's going to be just so awesome.
It's going to be the new thing, man.
Yeah, and what hopefully we plan on doing is, if this pilot goes good with 20 teams like this, hopefully next year we can expand it and get 80 teams, and then the winners of each four brackets. So you'd have like 4 brackets of 20 teams, and the winners of each bracket go to the championship, semifinals and finals, and just play for the massive prize pool that we'll hold to the side. So we're so excited. I'm so happy that there's no other platform that has this. We're going to be the pioneers. We're going to just ram this forward, and it's going to be awesome. I can't wait.
Well, you players that are in the chat right now, you're going to be a part of it. Well, you're going to be able to come try to be a part of it. So if you look down here at the bottom, the last thing it says, entry here is for free for 2024. Entries will be raffled off to the players who comment game on the live stream. So right now, if you're watching, you put game. It's going to go into this creator that Sean has, and 3 times tonight he's going to spawn a raffle, and we're going to give away some entries. We have 9 spots available. So enter game, and we'll get you guys rolling, and we'll do that a few times throughout our podcast tonight, and we'll fill up this league, and you'll get to come play with us managers, see how it goes. Maybe be on the pod.
Yeah, that's awesome. One quick thing before we move on, something that I'm going to work on tirelessly this year is there'll be a page that'll say tools on our front page. What I'll be doing is I'll be putting in the tools every week. I started with the offensive line tool, which is a pretty cool tool, basically breaking down the offensive lines. And the cool thing about that tool is it breaks down every player on that line and gives them a grade, and then it adds them all together, and then it creates the best line. So worked pretty hard on finding all that info for that, putting that together. So basically in the tool section, I'll have a little article on Monday. That's the offensive line tool. So if you can see, it has there you go. Yeah, bringing it. It has the like, for example, the Lions are number 1. It has Decker, left tackle, his grade, and then it goes on. And so it's a pretty cool tool you can use for your drafts if you're debating between one running back or the other, one quarterback or the other as far as the lines. And then as far as like the tools go for the weeks, Monday I'll do a little fantasy fallout column, basically just for injuries and just like what my thoughts were for the season. Obviously I'll have I'll want other managers to get in and help me out with that Monday fallout. Also, Tuesday I'll post up the waiver wire tool. That'll be with the rank my the players that are on waivers, and it'll also be incorporate fab. So I'll give you some numbers as far as like what to bid on different players. I know people are into fab bidding now instead of worst to first. So that'll help you guys out a lot too. I'll also I'll have a tool that'll be snap counts, touches, and targets. So I'll break down the teams, each position, the targets, snaps. So that'll help out with the target distribution and snap counts. That'll help you out with picking up guys and who to play every week. So that'll be on Tuesday. I'll also get into on Wednesday. It'll be a matchup tool. So it'll basically break down each position: quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end. So it'll be basically like I'll put down quarterback, Bills, and then whoever the Bills are playing. So if that's the number one matchup for the week, it'll say Bills versus whoever, and that means Josh Allen's the number one quarterback for that week. So that'll be and it'll be like a heat map. So it'll be, blue for great matchup or green, and then red would be terrible matchup. So I'll have that for you on Wednesday. Also, I will get into.
Chris is asking Scott if these tools are going to be free.
They will be free this year, so you guys can try them out for free. I spent a lot of time on these tools, so like I said, this year it'll be free. But I guarantee once you guys go through these tools, it'll be super helpful, and you guys will really, really like them a lot. And you will miss them if they're behind the paywall next year. So, but we'll get into that at a later time. We want you guys to enjoy these for free, and let us know what you think. One more quick thing. So basically, on Saturday, I'll have a DFS cheat sheet for DraftKings and FanDuel for all you DFS drafters. I usually wait till Saturday till all the injury reports are done, and it's all the correct guys are on there. And then I'll have this other thing called the Vegas tool. What this is, it'll have I take all the cumulative Vegas prop bets, put them all together, average them all out, and then I put a cheat sheet out for prop bets. So that should be pretty interesting. That'll really help you out with your DFS lineups, help you out with your regular lineups. So that'll be very interesting. So I'll be doing a lot of work on the tools this year. I hope you guys enjoy it, along with some articles, and I'm just really, really excited for this website. I think it's going to be a game changer for you guys. You guys are going to love putting that on your phone and just every day just going right to it. And you don't have to scroll around to different websites and this and that. You can go right to ours, and we'll have as much information as you can. And if there's anything in the future that you guys want on there, anything like, hey, can you guys find this for us, or find me a tool for this, or maybe one day we'll have a randomizer. Who knows? Me and Sean, once we start talking, we'll talk for hours about things that we think about. So if there's any ideas that you guys think you want us to help improve the site, all you got to do is leave a comment in the section, on the blog section, and we'll get right to it.
Yeah, good point, Scott. So for those of you that missed it, if you go to the narrative page, like I said, this is under construction as we speak. This is what we're working on figuring out next. We're teaching ourselves and everything. But for now, your sidebar here is also, it's going to have the tools that Scott's talking about. It's going to be what's highlighted, the top 3 items for the week. So when you come and check the website, you're going to be able to see, what the latest additions are, or what the hot topics are, so you don't miss anything. And then this little image right here, or if you go to feedback, you're going to be able to leave a comment. It's going to take you to this page where you can comment and start a conversation there. It's good for us to see some opinions that are beyond what we think of. And then right here's a little fun. If you go to hot takes, you can come and drop, a hot take for the season, and then we'll just have record of it. So we'll utilize this as long as we can. And at some point, maybe we upgrade and we have like a group chat and stuff like that, which is something we're looking into as well.
All right. Well, before we move on, Chris wrote in the chat already. He said, "Hey, let's do a Ballsville Survivor pick'em pool. Hey, it could be in the mix in the future. You never know, Chris. We're open for business for you guys. We'll do anything we can to improve this platform. So before we get into the injuries, guys, you guys want to run off a raffle?
Yeah, let's do it,
man. Let's do
Let's
it.
do it. Well, we can vote.
All right, so we got 9 people in this raffle right here, guys. So 1 out of 9 of you is going to be in the game with us. And are you ready for this, Sarah? Oh, dang, it's John. Oh, John, you got it, buddy.
Okay. So what you're going to do is you're gonna message Sarah on Sleeper. Here's her tag. That's JM Hubs right there on Sleeper. So just message her, and she's gonna send you the code. So I'm gonna screen share one more time. I'm gonna show you guys how to enter the code she gives you. So if you're here, and click on the icon, the trophy, to go back to the front page. So anytime you see this little GIF, the moving picture, you're going to click on it, and it's going to prompt you. This is where the invite link is, and right here, you're going to enter the password that she gives you. So congratulations, JM Hubs. We'll see you there.
All righty, congratulations, J Hubs. Now we're going to have 2 more drawings before this podcast is over, and then Alex, we're starting this draft. Is it tomorrow? Slow draft, right?
Well, we can start it like as soon as we're full. We can start it off as a slow draft, and then what the plan is to try to get everybody on the same page going into Thursday night's game, so that we can kind of blitz the last half hour and finish off with a quick draft. Hopefully, we're past the first few rounds.
Okay. All right, sounds good.
But we can give away a couple more entries. We have 9 of them to give away, so if we want to do them all tonight.
Yeah, we might as well. Like I said, after every little segment, we'll do a quick one. So, all right, we'll get into the injury reports for the weekend. I'm looking at right now. It's looking like Jaylen Warren. He had a little hamstring injury. Looks like he practiced. He says he's going to be ready for week 1. Zoobs, how are you handling Jaylen Warren for week 1? If you have him, are you going to put him in your lineup, or are you just going to kind of like hold off and see how he does? What are you going to do with that situation?
The only way I'm putting him in my lineup is if I went hero or zero RB, and he's one of my, hopefuls for the year. Then I'd probably play him. I'm hoping I've got 2 better RBs to play week 1. Those soft tissue injuries, they kind of freak me out, especially with running backs, because they'll pop right back up. So, I'm hoping I've got somebody better to play. But I mean, honestly, it's week 1. He says he's going to play. I mean, if you got to play him, you got to play him. So,
yeah. And then Chris wrote in chat, he needs to know about Laporte and Goddard. I read up on them. They're ready to go for week 1. Yeah. There's no limitations for those guys. Some guys that aren't going to be available. Hollywood Brown's probably another, I'd say 2 weeks out, probably. Ricky Pearsall unfortunately got shot in the chest, so he's going to be out. Probably he's on the pup. Another guy, CEH. So I'm going to go to Sean with this. So CEH is going to be out with some mental issues.
Why you go to me with a mental problem? What are you trying to say?
Well, I know you were infatuated with all my oatmeal pants analysis last week. So there's going to be a little bit of an oatmeal pants that might step up into the role, and that's Samaje Perine. Are you is he going to be the number 2, or do you think they're going to give Carson Steele the ball to goal line if they don't give it to Pacheco?
Oh no, I think CEH will. Oh, I'm sorry, not CEH. GC. Now you got me on the mental game. See what happens? No, I think Samaje will be the number 2, but I really don't think it'll be a large role. It's not going to be like what McKinnon was doing. I just don't think he has that ability. So, I think Steele will get some play. I think basically the McKinnon role will almost be split maybe between the 2 of them, and then I think it's a slight uptick for Pacheco. And I hate to say this because I know how hard Alex has been high on him, and I've been kind of not there with him, but I'm definitely leaning more towards Pacheco now, knowing that at these 4 games for sure he's out. And, Perine is really the only experience. What's that?
Top 5.
Top 5.
Dubicus loves Pacheco too. He's got the pub sub back.
I think he loves them more than I do, which is.
Oh, and let everybody. I forgot to mention, let everybody know that Ken's not on tonight. He's quite ill, so everyone give a prayer to Ken. Hopefully, Ken will be better.
Get better, dude.
So, chicken soup, Ken. Have your girlfriend make you some chicken soup. Put a warm blanket on you. So, all right, I'm gonna go to Alex for this one. So, Alex, Jamar Chase has signed his contract. He's had literally 1 practice, like legit practice. Now, if you are in, I think we talked a little bit about this in the last pod. If you're drafting tomorrow, I'm hearing that his availability for week 1 is kind of in question. If he's going to play and be a decoy, if he's not going to be like 100%, you worry about guys not practicing and then going out there and trying to go full speed. In a redraft, if you're sitting at like 7, 8, 9, and you got Jefferson on the board, and you got AJ Brown on the board. I mean, are you just going to take St. Brown? Are you just going to take the safe receiver, or are you still going to take Chase?
Well, Chase hasn't moved as far as where he's going amongst those receivers. I was taking JJ over him to begin with. So I listen to a lot of podcasts while I work, and one of those is a Fantasy Focus, and they have injury analysis from Starfania Bell, if anybody knows her. And I'm not going to quote her exactly, but she has a lot of instances where data is showing that if you're missing, these scrimmage games in the preseason, that your injury rate does go up, especially for soft tissue. No amount of working out is going to make up for doing real live NFL cuts and getting hit. So there is an injury risk there, but his upside, even compared to AJ Brown, is just a little too beneficial. So I would still take him over AJ Brown and after JJ.
Yeah, I think I'm on the. I think I talked about this last week. I want to be safe in the first round. If there's any issues, I want to go with the guy who's playing, who's ready to go, no contract issues, no injury. Just, you can afford to make a mistake in the 4th, 5th, 6th round, but you can't make a mistake in the first round. It's detrimental. So I just figure, I'm taking the guy that's going to play, that's ready to go. Now we do answer questions on here. Like I said, once the season starts, we love to start sit questions and this and that. So Chris wrote in for Cincinnati RB1. Do you like Moss or Brown? We'll go to Sean. Sean, what do you think?
Oh, I've been on the Brown train all year. I'm watching Zach Moss. I don't think that Zach Moss is like a difference-making running back. I think he'll be solid as like a backup, but I don't think he's just an RB1 type of guy. And I think Brown kind of has that type of juice, man. He looked good. I know he's not like maybe a solid like bell cow style back, but I think he'll easily be the back by the end of the season that's getting more carries in the game. So, like 2/3 probably.
All right, and Chris also got another question that, how long before Cook gets a shot at RB1 if Zeke is inefficient? Zoobs, we hate talking about guys with oatmeal pants. I mean, is this even a question? Or are you staying away from that backfield totally? Or are you investing in any of these guys?
Oh, man, it's not really. It's just such a nightmare right now. I mean,
Rico Dowdle, baby.
Yeah, as a late flyer, I would probably go Dowdle. There has been some buzz even just this week where they've come out and said that he's the leader for the touches right now in that backfield. But I'm only taking him
to come to work with a walker. I mean, come on.
So bad.
I think Zeke's going to be an annoyance all year. I think he's going to get a lot of passes, and it's just going to be, you're never going to know what week to week who to play in that backfield for sure.
Gotcha. No,
I think it's going to be Dowdle pretty consistently. I do. I think those guys are just there in case, but I don't think either of them has the juice to make a difference.
Alex, what about you with either question, Moss Brown or the Dallas backfield?
Well, I have a lot more Zach Moss than I do Chase Brown, so let's go Zach Moss. Yeah, that can go either way. Honestly, I think that's going to be a committee. It sounds like neither one of them has shown over the other, and neither one of them has lost any part of that job. So, but for Dallas, Dalvin Cook, I've seen him. Because I get the alerts, everybody's picking him up off of waivers. Personally, I didn't pick him up anywhere. That guy went all of 2023 looking for a job, and nobody wanted to hire him. And I think the Cowboys reaching out and grabbing Dalvin Cook is them saying that Zeke is unable to perform how they want him to perform in that role. And I think Dowdle is going to be, the guy between the 20s, and then probably Dalvin or Zeke are going to be there to share time and frustrate us Dowdle owners when they get into the red zone.
There you go. Quality analysis from our El Presidente. See, guys, he just doesn't just work on the website and work all the time. He actually puts some work in on doing some analysis too. So, great point, Alex.
I try, man. I try. I'll tell you what, this website for the last 2 weeks, I've been working on this thing, and this is so. If you're part of Ballsville, we don't really draft in August. It's full of spammers and scammers, and we're not really big fans of the crowd. We'd rather have you guys that we pick up, early in the off season, because you're the real diehards out here drafting in March. You know what I mean? So this last couple weeks are supposed to be to adjust dynasty rosters and redraft and get ready for the season. But they've been, more committed to the website here.
All right. Yeah. All right. What's it time for, Sean?
What's it time for? Is it time for a raffle breaker?
There we go. Let's do it. Let's do another raffle.
Remember, guys, enter game in the chat here, and you're eligible for one of these entries. It's going to be free. We have 9 to give away. Well, 8 now.
I think Jimbo Bimbo sent something in Discord.
I saw that. I was going to say that too, Scott. Yeah, if you're listening, Jim, go ahead and get into the YouTube and type it in there, because it's not going to give you the access for it on that one. You got to go through YouTube.
Yeah, Jimbo, get in there.
All right, should we run this drawing? We still got our 8 guys from the previous one. John, you're not going to be in this one. Sorry, buddy. Here we go.
And if J.M. Hubbard wins again, because he likes to win a lot, he can offer that to somebody else.
It's
our good friend.
Todd Barber. All right.
Go. All right,
Todd.
Winner. Should we run a third?
Sarah.
We got it open. Should we run a third?
Do it. Let's do it. And then we'll put in more names.
Oh, it's James
Grishman. James
Maui James.
Oh, nice. Congratulations.
He wins every time.
These are going to be our league mates, man. They get to try out this new and exciting game.
Oh, wow. Maui Jim. Outstanding. All right. We will how many more do we have? 5?
That's 3. We have 6 more to give away tonight.
6 more to give away. Okay. 6 more to give away. Okay. Let's do one. Let's at least preview the Thursday night game, and then we'll do a couple more.
I like it.
We're going to get into the Thursday night and Friday night game, but we'll do Thursday first. And the Thursday night game, we are talking about the Kansas City Chiefs, the defending Super Bowl champions, against the Baltimore Ravens. And the NFL just does another good job of creating awesome matchups for prime time. So I'm going to start with Zoobs, and I want to know the keys to winning for both of these teams and players to possibly look out for if we're interested in like prop betting, or if we're interested in putting these guys in our lineups, and who are the guys that are going to pop off.
I think Derrick Henry. I think it's almost a guarantee he gets a touchdown in this game. So if you find a prop bet that's got, touchdown for Derrick Henry, I would smash that every day. I think with the fact that Rice did not get suspended, I think Rice is going to have a baller game. I think he's just going to be catching balls left and right, just moving it down the pile, just going nuts. I'm interested to see how Xavier Worthy's kind of deployed, what his snap counts to be and stuff like that on the Chiefs too. But really, I think this is going to be a ground and pound game for the Ravens, and I think the Chiefs are going to the Chiefs always kind of come out every year, it seems like, and it seems like they're always trying to feel out how their team is deployed and who does what and everything. They did this last year. They lost to the Lions. Huh? Yeah. Remember that?
Yeah.
I honestly think it's going to be the Ravens. I think they're gonna take it down, take the Chiefs down, but I think it'll be a close game most of the time. So.
Okay. How about you, Alex? It looks like the spread is the Ravens are getting 3. The over/under is 46, so it looks like a pretty tight, high-scoring game.
Well, I hope they both lose. I'm a San Francisco fan, so the Chiefs keep denying us those rings, and the Ravens kind of embarrassed, poor little Brock Purdy last year. We all saw they literally knocked him out of the MVP candidacy. So, But this is great, dude. No better way to open up the season than two juggernauts coming together like this. As far as the win, I think it's going to end up being Mahomes, pulling some miracles to air it out. Because as much as I love Pacheco, this is going to be the biggest test of the season, maybe with that Ravens defense. So we'll see how it all plays out. But ultimately, I think it's going to be more of an air game for Kansas City, and maybe the Ravens come out and decide they want to utilize Derrick Henry and try to get that run game going like they should have in the championship game last year, right?
Yeah, that's for sure. Now, Sean, it looks like the implied totals for these teams looks like Kansas City is 24.5, and it's got the Ravens down to 21.5. So, what do you think about those implied totals?
Honestly, to me, it's low, and the reason I say that is because I think the Chiefs' defense is being underrated by you guys, specifically their run defense with Chris Jones in the middle of that line. Yeah. You guys are acting like Derrick Henry's going to go off and they're going to run all over him. I just don't see it. I think it's going to be what quarterback plays best, and between Lamar and Pat, really, I think it's going to be on that. I think Andrews is going to have a big game. I think Flowers is going to have some big plays. And the Chiefs and the Ravens are going to have to kind of be a little more air out, and maybe when they get to the red zone, they can start being a little more ground and poundy. But I just think they need to be a bit more with the passing game and play it that route, which I think they will. So to me, I think the over I would go personally, and then I just think it's going to be a higher scoring game. I like the Ravens with the points and the over if I were to actually go and bet on this.
Right. No, I kind of look at this game the same way like Sean did. I mean, I think it's how the Ravens are going to play against the Chiefs offense. Now that the Chiefs have Worthy, they have Rice. I don't think they're going to make the same mistake they made last year by losing to the Lions. I mean, they did have a couple guys out last year, so they're fully healthy this year. I don't know if I'm going to take the points with the Ravens. I think I might just take the Chiefs. I mean, I think the Chiefs are just going to not blow them out, but I think they're just going to kind of smack them a little bit. I love the Chiefs defense. I don't know if Henry's going to have too much time to run, too much space to run. I think they're going to try to bottle up Lamar. I've always loved the Spagnuolo defense. Puts players in the right positions to make plays. And I think just Mahomes is just going to have a monster year. And I'm interested to see what they're going to do with Worthy. I took a prop bet. Ken and I, we took the Worthy over 50 yards receiving. I mean, that's one play. And that's one little smoke screen, and he takes it 50 yards. So I think that's not going to say it's a lock, but I mean, I kind of like that bet if you're prop betting. It's the Worthy over 50 receiving yards for that game. So that's go ahead.
I think to Sean's point too, with the Ravens having to air it out. I mean, the Chiefs did lose Snead this year, so that's kind of a big deal, not having their cover man there. So, yeah, it could be interesting. They could go air out, which would be different for them for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see the Ravens try to cover all these, weapons. I mean, you got Worthy, you got Rice, you got Kelsey. I mean, Pacheco running the ball. It's going to be pretty difficult, and the Ravens are going to have to. They're going to have to get some more out of their receiving core. I mean, it can't just be Zay Flowers all the time. Bateman's going to have to step up. They're going to need a secondary receiver to try to keep up with the Chiefs' offense.
I think it's going to be Isaiah Likely. I think Isaiah Likely is going to be that guy. It's a good
point to see how many times they come out in two tight end resets.
Yeah.
That'd definitely be interesting. I like Likely this year. I think he eats into a little bit more of Andrews' target share this year. So like him a lot.
We're going to see during these drafts, Mark Andrews was one of the biggest values, and if he comes out and he looks like vintage Mark Andrews and he's putting up numbers, I mean, people are going to start taking victory sips on that.
He was getting drafted over Kelsey a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
that's the kind of trajectory people.
Well, he finished over Kelsey a couple of years ago, right? That was when Kelsey finished 2. It was Andrews that finished 1, right?
Yep, absolutely, it was.
Yeah,
I agree with you on that one. Andrews, if it wasn't for the fact that Kincaid's always there on the board when Andrews was there for me, I'd have a lot more shares of him.
I love Kincaid.
I know, me too.
All righty. Sean, what's it time for?
It's time for, let me think about that for a minute. Raffle Breaker!
All right, let's go. Let's run off another couple raffles here.
All right.
Get in that chat, guys. Get in that chat and type in game.
All right, looks like we had one person. We had one more add-on since the last drawing here. So we got one more add-on in there. Let's see who's going to win this one.
Nice. And if you're just joining, you type in game and you get a.
Oh,
Jenny B.
All right, Jenny, welcome in. You got yourself a free entry.
Make sure you
drafting with
DM Sarah.
Yeah, make sure you guys DM Sarah your sleeper handle so that she can get you the information you need to get in.
Yes, it's a password, and you go to the website and you click the GIF, whatever icon, for the triathlon bot, and it'll ask you for the password, and Sarah's going to give you the password for winning.
Yeah, and don't forget, guys, like and subscribe to our podcast. It really helps a lot. Leave a comment. Like I said, I always sift through the comments, try to answer questions. It is the point scoring season. So I know you guys will have a lot of start sit questions and stuff that we would love to answer, even if it's trade breakdowns. We love doing that too. So
we did get a start sit question, Scott. Do you want to cover it real quick? I think I saw it. I don't know if we talked about it. We had a question about whether to start Brandon Ayuk versus the Jets or Chris Godwin versus the Commanders in week 1.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Right here, I'll keep it up on the screen. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Zoobs, what do you think about that one?
Man, as much as I like Ayuk, and I love Ayuk, I'm a little worried, like we were talking about earlier, with these guys who kind of sat out, preseason and sat out training camp, and, are they up to football? Are they up to full football physique right now? So, I think I'm going Godwin, especially with the kind of the drumbeat that we heard all offseason, where he's going to be playing out of the slot a lot. And I mean, Baker Mayfield's a dump off merchant. So Godwin could just eat away at some PPR points for sure, especially if this is PPR. If it's standard, I might go Ayuk just for the upside of, he's got the high ceiling. But yeah, if it's PPR, I'm going Godwin for sure.
What about you, Sean?
It's funny because this is one of those scenarios that people will end up getting themselves in a bind and then make the wrong decision because they have such a hard time sitting a player that they drafted as high as Ayuk for a player that they picked up where they got Chris Godwin, and especially week 1. So it's like, man, do I sit my 4th rounder to play a 7th rounder that I drafted as a bench player? And yada, yada, yada. Honestly, you got to really kind of consider the matchup scenario. And it's hard to look at matchups early season. You don't really know defenses until usually after like weeks 3 to 5, you really start to find out who the good and who the bad defenses are. But Washington traded away a ton of their defensive stars this season. They kind of starting over on defense. They're not expected to be one of the better defenses. They're supposed to be one of the bottom. So, it is definitely a scenario where I think you should sit your 4th round player to play your 7th round player for week 1 because of that scenario. The Jets have one of the best cornerbacks in the league. And, if Godwin is going to be their featured player, who's to say they don't just plaster him, with sauce. So, not saying they will because they got Mike Evans there, but either way, that defense is solid enough where I could easily sit Ayuk and be comfortable playing Godwin this week.
Alex, anything?
Yeah, that's some good stuff right there, Sean. You hit a key word, and that was defense. If you're not aware, keep in mind that this is a Robert Saleh-led Jets team that's coming, to the place that made him famous, man. I mean, San Francisco, he was our defensive coordinator before he was a head coach over there. So I think he's going to bring his A game. He's going to be super focused on coming and shutting down his old team. And Ayuk, who hasn't practiced during the offseason. And I mean, it's a little odd that he took the same deal that was on the table the whole time. And it kind of, demonstrates a little, conflict on his part. And we know how much Shanahan will shut somebody down for that. So I don't know how the game's going to play out, but I do know that Washington has a bad defense. And if Jaden Daniels can sling the ball and put up points, Tampa's going to have to come back and do the same. And I think it's more of a certainty that Chris Godwin's going to be putting up numbers than Ayuk. So
Ayuk could be the third in that offense easily because they've got CMC, they've got Debo. So
got Kittle. I mean, there's weapons galore.
Fourth even, you say Kittle too. I mean, if Kittle has one of his Kittle type games, usually that means Ayuk is the one that is the man out in those scenarios. So, that could easily be week one the way the Jets defense is. So,
totally.
Right. Well, you definitely have to look at my matchup tool that comes out, because that'll definitely let you guys know who to start as far as what receiving core matches up against a crappy defense. But this game's all about Sauce. It's who's Sauce going to cover? Is he covering Ayuk? Is he covering Debo? I mean, like Alex said, Salah knows that offense. It's just depending on who's he's going to put Sauce on. If Sauce is shadowing Ayuk, then it's easy. It's Godwin. If he doesn't shadow him, I could see possibly maybe going Ayuk, but it's the Jets defense. They're a good defense. Commanders lost a lot on defense, so for me, I don't really think it's a hard decision. I'm playing Godwin in the slot. So all right, let's run another raffle. Let's do it. Got a bunch to get through.
Okay, we've done 4.
All right, here we go. This is fun listening to Sarah try to time up the drums.
There he is.
Chris.
Sorry for cussing.
All right.
There you go, Chris. That you deserve that because you've been very interactive in this episode, and we appreciate it. So I'm glad you got the win.
Yeah, you got some question answers. You got the win. It's like it's a winning pod for you.
Absolutely.
All right, congrats.
We're going to get all the winners into the league, and then once everybody's in the league, we're going to go ahead and start up a slow draft like we've been doing. And then before Thursday night's game, we're going to turn the clock into like a minute timer, and we're just going to blitz the last couple of rounds. It's going to be shallow benches. During the guillotine phase, you're going to be given a super flex, an additional flex, and a wide receiver spot. And your bench will start to grow as you roster more players after teams start to get cut. So it'll be really interesting. It's going to be pretty interactive in the middle of the season there.
Yeah, it's gonna
be alrighty. All right, we were going to move on to the.
Got another question. Do you want to go over it? It's a Drake May question.
Drake May.
Yeah. At what point do you see Drake May starting?
I guess. When's New England's bye? First of all, when's New England's bye?
Week 6, I think, right?
I thought it was
if it's week 6, then I think that's definitely going to make a big difference.
Yeah, I think when it comes to rookie quarterbacks, I think you look at the bye, and New England's going to be a dumpster fire anyways. So
speaking of bye weeks, how much do you factor those into
week 14?
Oh, it's week 4. Wow, it's late.
Oh, yeah, it's late.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so I guess the question to ask is, when do you think the Patriots are going to be mathematically eliminated?
Well, so looking at their schedule right here, they go Cincinnati, Seattle, the Jets, San Francisco, and I think that's when he starts is in week 5 when they're 0-5. Or when they're 0-4. It's Miami, Houston, Jacksonville, and then the Jets again, divisional. So, but it starts to lighten up until the end when they face Buffalo twice. We'll see how their defense is without Milano.
I think we'll be just fine.
So to answer your question, Chris, I think it would be week 6.
Yeah,
let's say 5 or 6, one of those.
That's about right. I'm gonna go with week 3.
Wow, that early?
I'm gonna go week 3.
Wow.
I
think he looks good enough where I think that if Brissett comes in and doesn't look good at all, like within a week or 2, like he's gone. They'll just put May in, they'll get the kid going, and they'll see where it goes from there. He
did look good in the preseason, man. He was the guy we were buzzing about all last year, right behind Caleb, and then we got to draft season and Jaden Daniels stepped up, but I don't think that means that Drake May took a step back or anything. We just kind of, weren't remarking about him.
I think they had the plan. They were going to wait on it, and they don't want to start him early, so they're going to stick to their plan, even though he looked good and ready to roll. But I think that's just basically going to make it easier for him to move on him sooner than later.
I say week 6. I'm with Scott.
I've heard some goofball and so-called expert analysis analysts say that he'll never see the field this year.
Wow.
I don't believe that. I got to give them some experience.
I'm like, are you kidding me? You think they're going to
That would be ridiculous. That would be stupid. If you're eliminated from the playoffs by like week 13 or week 12 or something like that, then you need to play the kid. That's just dumb to not give him the opportunity to get some game reps.
Yeah, right.
I'll split the difference a little. I'm going week 5. I think week 5. Yeah, I think it'll probably be.
Are we doing pricing right rules? So if you're over, it doesn't matter if you're closer. Like,
maybe it'll be like, maybe it'll be a situation like with Brady and Bledsoe. You know, Brissett will be running out of bounds and he'll get hit and he'll hurt himself, and then here comes Drake May coming in and leads the team to the Super Bowl. What do you think about that?
I'm telling you, man.
He's got that one too many drinks today.
Jets, San Francisco, and then Miami for weeks 3, 4, and 5. I would say week 6 against Houston is the earliest they put him in. I don't think they're going to throw him to face those defenses right there.
That's why it's Seattle.
Week 2?
That's rough.
Oh, I thought it was week 3 was Seattle.
Oh, week 3 is the Jets.
Oh, okay. Then week 2.
All righty, we're going to move on here. We're going to move on. Zoobs, this is for you. You break this game down. We got the Packers against the Eagles, and that's in Brazil. So it's a neutral game site. It's the Packers are getting 2.5. The over-under is 48.5. Same situation. Tights, looks like a little bit of a shootout, little tight shootout. So what do you think about that game there, Zoobs?
I'm really interested to see how the new Kellen Moore offense comes together for the Eagles. Because are they going to air it out more? But they got Barkley. Are they going to run it more? I mean, I think there's a lot of question marks on that offense there of what they're going to do. I mean, you got 2 highly touted wide receivers. Dallas Goedert's no slouch either. Saquon Barkley is just, he's one of the better running backs in the league right now. He's still going at a high level like we think he should be. So I'm so curious just to see what that offense is going to look like. I think we've belabored the fact on the Packers all offseason. We've been talking about it. I mean, the Christian Watson love is very high on this podcast, as we know.
Only a few.
Yeah. The only question I think I have on the Packers side is, does Josh Jacobs still have some juice left in him? He looked pretty bad. He wasn't quite oatmeal pants last year, but he didn't.
It's funny that he's younger than Saquon too, right?
Yeah, that's what's crazy. Yeah, because he's only 2 years removed from that just monster season he had, where he was the RB2 I think that year. So does he still got some juice? The Packers don't have anybody else. I mean, Marshawn Lloyd's hurt. Dylan's out. I just saw an injury thing pop up today for the.
I think that actually benefits them that Dylan is out, to be honest with you.
You want to talk about oatmeal pants? That's oatmeal pants right there.
That's definitely oatmeal.
Yeah, pants. Emmanuel Wilson is currently injured, Zoobs. That's what you're going to say?
Yeah, Emmanuel Wilson. I saw an injury report just pop up today that he was on
hip issue. Yeah,
so it's like he's the only game in town for the Packers for as far as running back. So I don't know what they're. Yeah, I hope that he can get, because if he can get even just halfway to where he was 2 years ago, that's pretty good. He'll be top 15 maybe. So. I want to see kind of how he looks and how that's going to operate. But I think this is going to be a high-flying, high-scoring game. I think both teams, honestly, are probably going to air it out a lot more than we think. I also want to see what the tush push is. That still a thing? Are we still going to see that 1 to 3 yard line? Jalen Hurts tush push into the end zone, or is it going to be the Saquon? Is it going to be the Saquon show? Because Saquon can take those. He can take those and take them to the house every time. Yeah, there's a lot of questions on that Eagles side for me.
Yeah, no, for sure. All right, Sean. It looks like I'm going to go to the implied total odds here. It looks like Philadelphia is 25 and 3/4 or 25.75 for points. And it looks like the Packers are at 23 1/4. So it's looking like a shootout. Lot of big names and on both sides of the ball. What do you think?
Packer blowout.
Wow.
Ooh.
Hot take.
Packers blow out the Eagles in this game. That's honestly what I think is going to happen. I am not confident that the Eagles, with their new coordinators, are going to come out and be any different than they were when they were the tire fire of a team that we saw at the end of the season. So, they need to come out and prove me wrong in this game. Until that point, it's a Packer blowout. The Packers look really good. I don't understand why they're not favored in this game. It's ridiculous to me. So I'm 100% on this Packer bandwagon in this game.
Got you. Alex, what about you? What do you think about – are you excited to see Saquon in this offense?
Absolutely. I think that's going to be the big difference maker is that run game because you have two offenses with very capable wide receiving weapons. You have two pretty damn good passers in Jordan Love and Jalen Hurts. And I think you have a point with Hurts owners if they come out and they see first and goal. What does everybody say? Oh, Hurts tush push. If that turns into a Saquon attempt and a success at the goal line, I think Hurts owners are going to flip out over that, especially if it happens twice. And so before we get too deep into it, can I just say, what is the NFL doing, man? You guys heard that these players were told, hey, don't wear green in the streets of Brazil. There's a violent freaking gang out there that represents green. And so you send the greenest two teams of the NFL down to Brazil. What are you doing? Play the freaking Chiefs Ravens down there.
I didn't hear that.
It's the same thing. Like literally, you have 32 teams to choose from, and you choose two that their primary colors are green and green.
Oh my god,
it's so stupid.
So assuming that nobody else gets shot, it's going to be a shootout. I think you have two.
No pun intended.
Yeah, you have two middling defenses. I don't think anybody has any kind of defensive back dominance there. You have a lot of rookies that are playing too, or sophomores in the Eagles secondary. There's a guy, I forget his name, but he's going to be holding up one of the defensive back spots, and who's got receivers to beat him. It's the Green Bay Packers, man. I mean, even if Dobbs doesn't play, then Wicks steps into that role. And
that's say Dontavion Wicks' breakout game is coming if that's the case.
Yeah, it very well could be. So we know that Love can do it. We know he's got the weapons to do it. We know that Hurts can do it. He's got the weapons to do it. So I think what's going to happen is this game's going to come down to the performance from the RBs. And if we have Saquon there behind that line, pounding it out, and Josh Jacobs can't keep up on his end, and there's nobody behind Jacobs, I think that's going to be the big weak point for the Packers.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of looking at this game, and I'm smashing the over on this game. I think it's just with those. How do you not smash the over when you got the Eagles with three good receivers now that they got Dotson, and I like John Dotson a lot. And then you got the Packers who have all their receivers. I mean, how does it become a low-scoring game? I mean, they're just going to air the ball all over the place. I remember a few years ago, what was it, the Chiefs and they were playing somebody in Mexico, and it was like 55-54. It was crazy, the thin air. I mean, I don't know if the air's thin in Brazil or not, but, I mean, I'm smashing the over. I just want to sit there. That's going to be my favorite game of the weekend. I just want to sit there and watch these two quarterbacks just air it out, and I'm going to, prove to everybody that Christian Watson's the number one receiver on this team, and I see him catching like a 60-yard bomb. So that's my hot take for the week on that game.
So is it going to be Packers in all yellow and Eagles in all white? Is that how they're doing this?
Yeah, let's just break out the alternative jerseys and
right. They're going to do a color rush game of like the opposite of their actual colors.
Yeah,
we have a lot of people saying Packers are going to win that one.
Yeah, we got a few questions. Let's get to them. Looks like the wifey, your wifey jumped in with a little question there, Alex, about Jamar's contract.
Something about doing the dishes or something when you're done.
Go do the dishes.
No. That was Sean, babe.
No, we touched on it a little bit. He's going to be right there. I mean, the contract we should talk about is Ayuk. I mean, the 120 million for a guy who did it like 1 year, but like I said, we kind of already went into the Jamar. I mean, he deserves to be paid one of the top receivers. But he's got to,
Was he saying he wants 1 penny more than Justin's deal or something?
Yeah, I mean, I think Justin's deal is it would be good. You're not going to get, or see maybe a little bit less than CeeDee Lamb. What do you think?
I think he slots between CD and Justin. That's where I have. Yeah, like right between the two is where I would put him. But he wants more than Justin, so that's the holdup right now, from what I understand.
Well, you got that Lions jersey on there, Zoobs. We'll answer Chris's questions. Lions game rematch from the playoffs. Is this a revenge game for Stafford? I mean, is it always?
It's always a revenge game. No, I mean, I don't know if you guys remember that game. That game was electric last year.
Oh yeah, it was amazing.
It was amazing. It was just high flying, high scoring. I mean, it was just edge of your seat kind of stuff. I think I'm a little worried about the Rams with Puka kind of banged up a little bit. They don't have. Do we know who their tight end is really? I mean, at this point, Colby Parkinson, I guess.
Parkinson, yeah, it's Parkinson.
I have a lot of in best ball.
I mean,
I want to see if they play that rookie that shot.
Whittington or whatever.
Winnington, yeah. I want to see if they give him any kind of...
Baby Debo.
I think the Lions have got it dialed in, and I think they're flying high off of what they did last year, getting into playoffs. And I think they're Super Bowl bound, and I think they're going to come out and just hammer the Rams. I think the Rams are not going to be prepared for it. I think Sean McVay is going to get kind of knocked on his butt a little bit from it. So and I mean, maybe I'm a homer, maybe I'm just wishful thinking there, but that's what
Super Bowl.
Hey, you're right about one thing. It's definitely Super Bowl or bust, because I think they let a golden opportunity go away last year. They had the Niners on the ropes, and Dan Campbell got a little too fourth down excited.
He got a little too hot in his pants.
Yeah. Don't tell me you've done it. Don't tell me that's how we got here. Sometimes you got to play, situational football, and it's not. This isn't a video game.
I believe there was one that he didn't kick a field goal that specifically, if I remember correctly, was the big bad decision. You got to kick the field goal.
You got to kick the field goal. Got to take the point.
Hey guys, if you're familiar with Underdog, we're talking about Stafford right now, so I wanted to go take a look at his lines. There is a hot take here, and it's half of a rushing or receiving touchdown, and it's a 9.3 multiplier, which is the highest I've ever seen. Wow. If you rush his one in, you're getting 9 times for that one slot, plus whatever other slots you put in.
Can you imagine watching him rumble from the 5-yard line if you made that bet? You're just like, come on, man, just make it go.
Yeah. Can I get a tush push?
Right. You want that lineman to come pick him up and just carry him over.
Yeah, so I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna pair that with this Travis Kelce 1 yard. I'm gonna put in a bet right now, live on the air.
There you go. Put it in.
There you go.
Can't get to.
But his line is 270 passing yards. So do you guys think the over or under on that?
For Stafford?
Yeah.
Against the Lions, 270.
I'm gonna say under.
So I'm gonna say you say under. I'm slightly over, I think. So I'd probably go that route, but it'd be a line I would avoid altogether. It's too close.
I think they might try to. I think the Rams might try to run the ball a little bit more and try to keep the ball out of the Lions' offense. Try to win the game, because it's a road game. So, is it a road game? Yeah. It's the Lions have Sunday night. So it's a road game. So they're gonna try to run the ball.
Yeah, come on. The Lions aren't playing in an outside stadium for 12 weeks or something crazy.
Well, I mean, SoFi's indoors.
So speaking of which, now that I've already drafted in my big fantasy league, the Lions rookie kicker is the biggest sleeper kicker right now in football. If you have a kicker league, just don't take a kicker. Wait till the final round and snag this kid, because he's going to be your kicker all season, no problem.
There you go. Anyone that's in kicker.
A $3 bet's going to get me 167 with Stafford.
Bingo. There you go.
167 for $3 bet.
Yeah, it's Stafford. Stafford to get one rushing touchdown. Pacheco for 15 yards in the first quarter, and Kelsey for half a yard because they used that little promo. So it's all Stafford, man.
Bars and something before the game, you know, give them a little extra energy.
Good times. Underdog for the win.
All right, let's do it. Let's do some raffles.
Raffle?
Yeah,
Raffle?
We got some new people, I think, in here, don't we?
We do. We got 2. We got back up to 8 entries now. So we got a few more heads in the mix.
Let's run two.
All right.
We've done 5 so far, so we're going to be giving away number 6 and number 7.
Oh, almost, Sarah. You were close.
Oh, short stack. All right, I'm glad he won. He's always real chatty in the chat room. Congrats,
he lives up the hill from me.
Oh, there you go. He can just walk over to get his entry.
Yeah. All right, congrats.
All right.
And can I just say, before we run this next one, I can just say it's a great source of pride. Being part of Ballsville. If you're not aware, we already have over 60 winners this year, and the season's about to start on Thursday, and we have free entry winners. We did a tally when we were doing the cash stock between us managers, and it was about $400 in free entries, and we have $380 out there for free mini games. And this is money that comes out of the budget. So the reason why we had that little thing where people were asking about what the rake is, because the rake is it's 5% technically, but a lot of that stuff goes right back into the game. A third of that gets kept for end of season budgets. That's how we pay for the website and pro accounts and eventually the StreamYard. All that stuff's going to come out of the Ballsville budget and stuff. But we like to make winners, and so short stack, you're going to be like the 70th winner this off season. So congratulations.
Yeah, for sure. And what other website and what other platform and gives away so much free stuff like we do? I don't see too many that give away a lot of free stuff.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You ready?
All right,
run
it. Run it.
Number 7.
Oh, the
wifey. Look at that.
Good.
Congratulations, wifey. She told me, she'll put me in the league. I'm like, no, you got to win. So I'm so glad she won.
Now all you have to do, wifey, is put a pub sub on you beating the hubby in the league. And I want to see you two play against each other in the guillotine section.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
If I'm not in the championship game, I hope it's those two duking it out.
Yeah.
That would be epic.
Thanks, guys.
Beat him in the guillotine section and take all his players. That's awesome.
Gotta love it.
We're gonna play a little game here. So we're gonna go around the horn. We're going to evaluate. I'm gonna go around the horn, and I'm gonna go to Sean first. And out of the 4 games, Sean, out of the 4 quarterbacks, list them in order, 4 through 1, on who's gonna have the best fantasy games out of the 4. So you got Hurts, you got Love, you got Jackson, and you got Patty Mahomes.
I'm going to start with Love based on my Packers prediction. So I'm going to think Love is going to be the top scoring one out of the bunch. Follow that up really closely with Patrick and then Lamar. And then way down low is going to be Jalen Hurts.
Wow. Really?
I love that bold.
I don't have faith in the Eagles this week. I just don't. I mean, if they can prove me wrong, like, I'm not saying that I'm like, knowing everything here, but right now I don't have faith in them.
Wow. So you like Love over? I mean, I'm bullish on Love this year too. You got Love over Mahomes week 1.
For week 1, yeah. For week 1,
okay.
I do, just because of the difference in the defense that I think he's battling. I think the Ravens defense is going to be just that much better. I think they'll be close, but I think it'll be Love.
I love it. I love the bold statement. Way to go, Sean. All right, we are going to slide down to Zoobs. And Zoobs, we're going to go with the 4 big running backs in this game. So we're going to go with the big king, Derrick Henry. We're going to go with your and Alex's man crush, Pacheco. We're going to go with newly acquired Saquon Barkley, and we're going to go with everyone hating on Josh Jacobs.
This is a tough one because my heart says one thing, but my brain's telling me another thing. So, and I think it's going to be hard for both Henry and for Pacheco to just be amazing. Even though I think I know earlier I said that the Ravens are going to probably round and pound a little bit, but you're right. Those are two defenses that are really really good, even and especially against the run. So I think I got to put them at the bottom of the list. So I'm going to go with Saquon first. I'm hoping that he's gonna really elevate that offense. They're gonna use him the way they should be used. Then I think I'm gonna go with Henry. Then I'm gonna go with Pacheco, and I think I'm gonna go Josh Jacobs last. I don't know if I believe in Jacobs this year. There's been a lot of people, analysts and stuff, who are like, "Oh, he's such a good steal and he's going to be great and all this stuff." And I'm like, I don't know. I didn't see anything last year that really tells me that. So I just don't know if he's gonna deliver for fantasy managers this year.
Well, he's in a new offense. We'll see what happens. And like we talked about earlier, he's last man standing at this point. I mean, they're not bringing anybody in, and we'll see what we'll see what. I'm a little bullish on Josh Jacobs. I'm actually moving him up my draft boards quite a bit.
Can we talk about the fact that he just put his top 5 running back Isaiah Pacheco at the bottom of that list right now?
I can't believe that. I thought we were gonna get a bold take out of you, Jeff. No bold take from Jeff. All right, we'll slide over to Alex now, and Alex is I want you to give me your list of receiving cores. So we're gonna include the tight ends in this. So we got the Packers, the Eagles receiving cores, and we also have the Ravens and the Chiefs receiving cores. So from 1 to 4, what order do you have those teams in?
Oh man. Okay. Well, the Ravens, I think, are going to be the tougher defense, and we're already down Hollywood Brown, but we still have 3 weapons for the Chiefs, and Mahomes is going to do Mahomes things. I don't think Pacheco's going to, as much as I love him, like I said, he's probably not going to get hit top 5. They have a difficult schedule, and it starts Thursday. So I think because of the struggles in the run game, I think we can rely on the Chiefs to try to score their points through the air, and I'm going to put the Chiefs first, with Kelsey included. And then from there, I think that Jordan Love and the Packers are going to have to air it out as well. I don't think Josh Jacobs is going to be up to snuff, especially when he's getting all the work. He'll probably score his points on just volume alone, but I don't think efficiency is going to do it. I think they're going to have to air it out. So I'll put Love at number 2, and then I think the front 8 for the Chiefs are pretty great too, even compared to the Eagles. So I think Lamar's going to come in 3 because he's going to have to take to the air as well. And I think the Eagles are probably my favorite to lean a little bit more on the run. I wouldn't put Hurts way down at the bottom, but I think that whole receiving core is going to be just a matter of necessity. And so I would go Chiefs, Pack, Ravens, and Eagles. And I don't know who's catching the ball for the Ravens. I just know that they're going to have to rely on some of those pass catchers too, and hopefully Bateman can step up because I have a little bit of Bateman in some dynasty leagues, and I'm like poking him with a stick, like, come on, do something,
All right, so no love from the panel for the Eagles passing game this week. No love for the Eagles passing. Interesting, very interesting. So some bold takes there. All right, before we get into the last bit of our podcast with the raffles, I'll search through some questions here. I see Chris said, give it to me straight, guys. Can I expect a decent chance of the Giants' victory this weekend at home against the Vikes? You know what? It's a 1-point game. You know what? As much as I hate to say it, I don't want to say this is the better quarterback this week, but I think Darnold is going to have a better game than Daniel Jones. So I'm going to take the Vikings. They got JJ back. They got the better coach. I can't stand Dable. I'm sorry. He's on the hot seat this year. So I think it's going to be a close, like a last second field goal for the Vikes, and it's going to break your heart, Chris. What about you guys?
No, I mean, you didn't answer the question the way he asked it, though, man. He just wants a decent chance at a victory, man. He's not.
I gave it to him. I said it'll be a last second field goal. It could be a miss.
I think he definitely has a decent chance in this game. You know, I mean, come on. Yeah, I mean, why not? Right?
Because Daniel Jones sucks at football.
Yes. What are we gonna do if Darnold comes out and obviously outplays Daniel Jones? Malik Neighbors, rest in peace.
Yeah. Drew Lock starts too, I guess. I don't know.
No doubt. All right.
So Drew Lock, real quick. Drew Lock. I had a dream team one time, Superflex, going into the championship, and trades were already done and all that. We had a trade deadline, and Ballsville doesn't have a trade deadline. You just can't trade when you're in the playoffs. But championship week, dude, and nobody was on the wire except for Drew Lock, and he scored like I think 3 points that week or something, and I lost by 2. And so I'll never forgive him for that. Give me Daniel Jones.
Dude, they gave that guy $5 million to play backup quarterback this year. That's because
the Jets
a check stealer. That's a check stealer.
Because the Jets take Tyrod from him.
Sorry, Chris. That's a Giants move right there.
Yeah, that's a check stealer for sure. All right, let's run the rest of these raffles off and get out of here.
2 more spots.
Okay, so here we go. Running one. Ooh, I think you might have caught it perfect there.
I see Trevor's name in there too.
Oh, look at that,
Dave Morris.
410.
Hey, this guy won like 7 of the minigame draft predictor. He was in like 6 or 7 dynasty leagues, and he won in every league he was in by projecting where players were gonna land during the NFL draft. So this guy's already a winner.
Yeah, with us analysts and game managers on for the Ballsville, we have fans too, and Jay Morris is a big fan of mine.
All right, last drawing.
Yep, one more drawing.
Wait, here we go. Okay, yeah, go for it. Brandon Dalfour.
Congratulations.
Dalfour? How do you say Dalfour?
Dalfour.
Dalfour? Is it French?
Oui.
All right, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and share the screen, and so you guys see down below it says contact Sarah. That's her name, Sarah M21 on Sleeper to get the password. You're gonna go ahead and get a word from her that's gonna give you entry, and then you're gonna come to the ballsville.com. You're gonna click the little moving GIF here, the triathlon game, and when you click it, it's gonna ask you for the password. And that password is what you're going to get from Sarah. So go ahead and DM her if you're one of the 9 winners tonight. Get the password. Come over here. It'll uncover the link. Join the league. And once we're all situated, we'll get that thing going and fire up a slow draft. And then we'll expedite it right before the Thursday night game, guys.
All righty. All right. I know we didn't get to all the questions, but I know I'll just look at a few real quick. I know Trevor said, can we get a DraftKings game going for us DFS degenerates? I know I was talking to JoJo. I think he wants to try to start to do something. So we're going to maybe incorporate something like that. I'm talk to JoJo, talk to Alex, see what we want to do with that. And then other than that, remember, we are now on Tuesdays and Fridays. Tuesdays will always be at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Fridays we'll be back to our 10 p.m. slot. We're going to have a huge show on Friday for the weekend games, prop bets. It's going to be outstanding. So like I said, we're really in the point scoring season right now. We have a lot of content coming to you guys. We're working our asses off, trying to get as much stuff as we can for you guys. The website's awesome. It's going to only get better. So for my producer, Sarah, M21, for Zubakis, for my co-host, Sean, and El Presidente, our president, Alex Hernandez. Until Friday, folks, we are out.
Peace out, Ballsville.